from the Anvil Free Library again with a little puppy friend today. Can you help him to sing hello? Hello, 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 and how are you? I'm fine, I'm fine. I hope that you are too. What kind of pet would you like to get? Do you think you might like a dog? We have some fun stories and songs about dogs today. Here's another dog. Here is Bingo. Do you know the song about Bingo? Hi, Bingo. There was a farmer had a dog, and Bingo was his name-o. B-I-N-G-O. We're going to sing it and see if Bingo can help us, okay? There was a farmer had a dog, and Bingo was his name-o. B-I-N-G-O, 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 and Bingo was his name-o. Bum, ba-da-rum, bum, bum. Oh, look, we're going to cover up the B. Bingo! See if you can bark instead of the B. There was a farmer had a dog, and Bingo was his name-o. Woof! I-N-G-O. Woof! I-N-G-O. Woof! I-N-G-O. And Bingo was his name-o. Bum, ba-da-rum, bum, bum. Uh-oh. 2 barks. Are you ready? There was a farmer had a dog, and Bingo was his name-o. Roof! Roof! N-G-O. Roof! Roof! N-G-O. Roof! Roof! N-G-O. And Bingo was his name-o. Bingo, you want to bark some more? I think we have 3 barks this time. There was a farmer had a dog, and Bingo was his name-o. Roof! 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 G-O. Roof! 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 G-O. Roof! 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 G-O. And Bingo was his name-o. Bum, ba-dum, bum, bum. Are you helping me to sing? Because now we have 4 barks. There was a farmer had a dog, and Bingo was his name-o. Roof! 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 Oh! Roof! 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 Oh! Roof! 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 Oh! Whoa! Whoa! And Bingo was his name-o. Bum, ba-da-dum, bum, bum. Bingo! All the letters are gone. Can we sing it one more time? All barks. There was a farmer had a dog, and Bingo was his name-o. Roof! 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 And Bingo was his name. Oh! That was fun. You know, when I was a little girl, we had a dog named Ralph. We thought it was really funny because, first of all, Ralph was my daddy's middle name. And second of all, he could say his own name. So when I saw this book, I just thought this was a great, funny story about Ralph, the dog who could say his own name, by Lois Ehlert. Ooh, I see a woodpecker. And I see a dog. I bet you won't believe me, but our dog can talk. I found out when we first brought him home, and I asked, "What's your name?" "Ralph, Ralph." We built a house for him and a really high fence all around our backyard. "Hey, Ralph, where are you?" "Roof, roof." Ralph likes to chase the backyard birds. I always tell him, "No, but he never listens. Ralph, what's on that tree?
Bark, bark, bark.
I think Ralph needs a long walk in the woods. How's the path feel on your paws, Ralph?
Oh, rough, rough.
So we race back home on the soft grass. As I latch the fence gate, we hear a howl. Oh! What's that, Ralph?
Wolf, wolf.
It is, isn't it? A wolf. Don't be scared, Ralph. He can't get in. But won't you come into the house with me? Oh, Ralph, isn't it great to have a friend? Ralph had a long day. Good night, sleepyhead. Talk to you tomorrow. Ralph, the dog who could say his own name. Parents, just a reminder, for the basics number 5, read and discuss stories. Make books a routine part of your day. Find a subject that your child is interested in and learn more about it together. Find books that just make you laugh together, or that you can discuss by adding your own expertise and experiences. And remember to share stories from your own childhood that a book brings to mind. Enjoy books together. Speaking of which, here's another book from I remember when I was a little girl. The book about Pretzel. Pretzel is a dachshund. That's a dog that's very low to the ground and very long. A dachshund. Let's see how long the Pretzel is. By Margaret Ray and H.A. Ray, the same people who created Curious George. One morning in May, 5 little dachshunds were born. See how long their mother is? One of them was Pretzel. They grew up the way puppies do, and they all looked exactly alike the first few weeks. Besides Pretzel, there was Paul and Patricia and Priscilla and Percival. They all started with the letter P. But after 9 weeks, Pretzel suddenly started growing and growing and growing. Can we tell which one's Pretzel? He grew much longer than any of his brothers and sisters. And when he was fully grown, he had become the longest dachshund in all the world. Pretzel was pleased with himself because it is very distinguished for a dachshund to be so long. When he was 1 year old, a dachshund is a grown-up at that age, he won the blue ribbon at the dog show, which means that everybody considered him the best-looking dog of all. All the dogs admired him, and all the people admired him. Only Greta didn't. Greta was the little dachshund from across the street. See, here's where Pretzel lives, and here's where Greta lives. Pretzel's a brown dog, isn't he? What color is Greta? She's a little black dachshund. Well, guess what? Pretzel was in love with her. He wanted to marry her. But Greta just laughed at him. I don't care for long dogs, she said. But it is very distinguished for a dachshund to be so long, and I won the blue ribbon at the dog show, said Pretzel. I still don't care, said Greta. Pretzel was hurt, but he didn't show it. Please marry me, he said, and I will do anything for you. Prove it, said Greta, and she went away. So Pretzel set out to prove it. First, he brought Greta a nice big bone. Oh, thanks for the bone, said Greta, but I won't marry you for that. I don't care for long dogs. And she ate the bone and forgot all about Pretzel. It wasn't very nice. Pretzel had to try something else. He gave her the lovely green rubber ball that he had been given for his birthday. Thank you, said Greta, but I still won't marry you because I don't care for long dogs. Besides, everybody can give presents, and she ran away with the ball. That was pretty rude. Hey, look what I can do! Nobody except me can do that, said Pretzel when they met again. And this is what he did. How do you think he got his name? He looks just like a pretzel when he does that. Oh, not bad, said Greta. Your name certainly fits you, but I like the pretzels at the baker's better. And I still don't care for long dogs. Pretzel was very unhappy. Some weeks had passed, and Greta hadn't even spoken to Pretzel. One day while she was playing with now her green ball, it bounced away. Greta tried to catch it, and boops! The ball and Greta both fell into a deep hole. Greta tried to get out of the hole, but she couldn't. It was much, much too deep. She was terribly scared. If nobody came to save her, she might never. She's crying so much she's making a puddle with her tears. And just then, Pretzel's face appeared over the edge of the hole. I'll get you out of there, he shouted. He had watched Greta all that time and now had rushed to help her. How good it was! That pretzel was so long. I believe you saved my life. You are wonderful, said Greta with a sigh. Will you marry me now? Asked Pretzel. I will, said Greta, but not for your length. So they kissed each other. Doggy kisses with her nose. And they got married. So there they go, with all the other dogs coming to the wedding. And one morning in May, 5 little dachshunds were born. Oh, Greta became a mother. And look, 1, 2, 3 are brown like Pretzel, and 1, 2 are black like Greta. I'm so glad Pretzel could come to the rescue. I keep saying it. When I was a little girl, I learned a poem from my daddy about a dachshund. I'm going to try and say it for you now. There was a dachshund once so long he hadn't any notion how long it took to notify his tail of his emotion. And so it went that while his eyes were filled with woe and sadness, his little tail kept wagging on because of previous gladness. He's long like pretzel. Oh, my gosh, Mrs. McNosh. This is the book that was in your pack this month. I think she's having trouble with her dog. A book by Sarah Weeks and Nadine Bernard Westcott. Mrs. McNosh took a walk in the park. It's good she has her dog on a leash. That's polite to do. Oh no! Her dog saw a squirrel and started to bark. "Stop barking! Stop pulling!" said Nellie McNosh. But George wouldn't listen. Oh no. His leash broke. And so, oh my gosh, he zipped through the flowers and skipped through the trees, barking at bicycles, babies, and bees. Oh no. He dove and he wove right past Mrs. McNosh. "I'll catch you," cried Nellie. But then, oh my gosh, the boat sprang a leak, so George had to jump out. "I'll catch you," cried Nellie. Instead, she caught a big trout. He crashed through a wedding and trashed the buffet. "I'll catch you," cried Nellie. Instead, she caught the bouquet. Oh no, all the food crashing to the ground. "Come back here right now," hollered Mrs. McNosh. But George just kept running until, oh my gosh, he has somebody's hat. He bumped the plump umpire in the baseball game, then jumped the wall. "I'll catch you," cried Nellie. Instead, she caught a fly ball. He danced and he pranced, then he shook and he rolled. "I'll catch you," cried Nellie. Oh no, where is he? Instead, she caught a bad cold. "That's it. I give up. I can't catch you. It's true. I know when I'm licked. I've been licked, George, by you." So Nellie walked back to her house all alone. And there on the porch, she saw George's old bone. "I wish he'd come back," sniffled Mrs. McNosh. Then she opened the door and she cried, "Oh my gosh!" George was already home, wasn't he? And look, he's getting her bedroom slippers for her. That was just a silly rhyming story. We also have Mrs. McNosh hangs up her wash. And Mrs. McNosh and the Great Big Squash. They might be more stories you'd like to read. And I think you know who this might be. Who is it? Clifford the Big Red Dog. When I was a little girl, we had all the Clifford books at our house because my brother's name was Clifford. And so we had all the books, but they looked a little different. They used to be just black and white and red. Now they have more colors. Clifford the Big Red Dog. We're going to read about how Clifford became so big. Clifford the Small Red Puppy. Hi, I'm Emily Elizabeth, and this is Clifford, my big red dog. Yesterday, my friend Martha said, "I got my dog from a fancy pet store. Where did you get yours?" So I told her how I got Clifford. When I was little, I lived in the city. I didn't have a dog. One day, the man down the hall called us. His dog had had puppies, and he wanted to give me one. One puppy was smaller than all the rest, and the man said, "Oh, don't take him. He is the runt. He will always be small and sick." But I loved that little puppy. He needed me. So I named my puppy Clifford. He was so tiny that I had to feed him with the doll's baby bottle. We got the smallest collar we could find for Clifford, and it was still too big. When he began to eat dog food, we had to watch him all the time. Oh no, he fell in the bowl. He was so little that he was always getting lost, even in our small apartment. Where is he?
Woof, woof.
He got lost in Daddy's food. Daddy said Clifford was just too small. He didn't think that he would live through the winter, and that made me very sad. That night, I told Clifford that I wished he would grow to be a big, healthy dog. I told him that I loved him. Next morning, when I woke up, he looked bigger to me. He seemed to have an easier time eating his dog food, and his collar wasn't quite so loose. In fact, by the time Daddy got home, the collar was too small. Goodness, he's growing fast. By bedtime, Clifford's tiny basket seemed a little too small for him, so I left him sleep on my pillow again. That was a mistake. Look how big he was in the morning. Next morning, Mommy thought Clifford looked different. Daddy said, I think he's growing. He's so big he can hold his own dish now. I decided to take Clifford for a walk. At the corner, I saw a big dog coming. I knew I should pick Clifford up so that the big dog couldn't hurt him. But I shouldn't have worried. Look how much he grew. Clifford really was growing. We ran home to show Mommy how big he was. Had our apartment door grown smaller? Daddy couldn't believe it. We put Clifford in the garden to sleep that night. And in the morning, the lady upstairs called. It was about Clifford. He was so big he was looking right in her window. In fact, all the neighbors were starting to notice him. The landlord called the police. They came to see Clifford. They said Clifford would have to go. But how? He couldn't fit through the door. There was just one way to get him out of our garden. A big crane picked him up and pulled him out and put him in a moving truck. We sent him to live with my uncle, who lived in the country. I was sad. I missed my little puppy, and he missed me. One day we got a surprise. My uncle wanted Daddy to come work with him in the country. We moved right away. Clifford was waiting for me. I said, Clifford, stop growing. You are just right. So I said to Martha, that's how I got my dog. Tell me again how you got your dog. Martha said, oh, forget it. We have lots of Clifford the Big Red Dog books. And here's even some about Clifford's fairy tales, the Three Little Pigs and the Big Red Dog, Cinderella and the Fairy Dogfather, Snow White and the 7 Puppies. And there's Clifford and the Beanstalk. You might like to get those. Look who I have here. You have this in your pack. It doesn't quite look like this. You have a big red square. I'm going to show you. Oh, you know what else you have? A little puppy. You can do whatever you want with this little puppy. You can use him as a bookmark. You can draw all over him. You can write your name on him. Put him on the fridge. Whatever you want to do with him. But Clifford, we're going to take our big square. Whoop. Big square. We're going to fold it in half this way so it makes a big triangle. And then if you fold that just a little bit in half to find where the middle is and open it up, you're going to fold one ear down from the middle to make another triangle ear. Fold this one down from the middle for a triangle ear. And then draw his face. And you have Clifford. If you want, you can put a little tape behind his ears to hold them down a little better. But now you can have a Clifford puppet, and you can tell somebody else the story about Clifford, the small red puppy that didn't stay that way very long because Emily Elizabeth loved him so much. Where's my dog Rags? Here he is. I have a dog, his name is Rags. He eats so much that his tummy sags. His ears flip-flop and his tail wig-wags. And when he walks, he goes zigzag. You know what? I want you to try and help me sing this song. I'm going to stand up here a little bit. You ready? We're going to have to do some motions. I have a dog, his name is Rags. He eats so much that his tummy sags. His ears flip-flop and his tail wig-wags. And when he walks, he goes zigzag. He goes flip-flop, wig-wag. Zigzag, he goes flip-flop, wig-wag. Zigzag, he goes flip-flop, wig-wag. Zigzag. I love Rags and he loves me. Can we do it one more time? I have a dog, his name is Rags. He eats so much that his tummy sags. His ears flip-flop and his tail wig-wags. And when he walks, he goes zigzag. He goes flip-flop, wig-wag. Zigzag, he goes flip-flop, wig-wag. Zigzag, he goes flip-flop, wig-wag. Zigzag. I love Rags and he loves me. One more time. I love Rags and he loves me. Yay! I think it's time to say goodbye. Just wanted to show you really quick. Here's some other fun books you might like to take from the library. See the cat? 3 stories about a dog. You have to find out what that's about. Why a dog? By a cat. One of my favorites. Remember? Harry McClary from Donaldson's Dairy has lots of other dog friends and lots of other books that we have about Harry McClary. Here he's Harry McClary, sit! Or maybe Harry McClary and the rumpus at the vet. Lucky's big week. The diggingest dog. And Harry, the dirty dog. There's Harry and the Lady Next Door. No Roses for Harry. All fun books and lots more at your library. I think it's time to say goodbye for today. Are you ready? See you later, alligator. After a while, crocodile. Give a hug, ladybug. Blow a kiss, jellyfish. See you soon, you big raccoon. Out the door, dinosaur. Take care, polar bear. Wave goodbye, butterfly. See you next week.